Hey guys, it's Ari. Welcome back to my channel, and if you haven't been here before, welcome. So if you're a diehard Stranger Things fan like me, you probably have seen Stranger Things Volume 2 or Season 5 Volume 2 that came out last night, and I watched it like from the second it came out to all through the 3 episodes that came out. And I've been sitting with it for a little bit. I wasn't gonna make a video just because I'm honestly that I'm still just a little bit sick. I got a crunchy iPad kid cough, but I really need to rant, and I have so many thoughts, and I have so many things I want to say, and I just want to see if someone agrees with me, and this video is going to be horribly edited. I'm not going to edit at all. I'm lazy as fuck right now, and, I can't show my face, so it's an audio recording. I don't even know what the heck I'm putting over this, so, please, if you want to speed up my voice, just, like, I need someone to mind meld with me. I need someone to... Can you hear my hands clacking? I need someone to, like, connect with me on this. Okay, let me get into this before y'all just, like, skip away. So, let's start. The first thing I want to talk about is the Jancy scene, the Jonathan Nancy scene. That was a breakup. That, I just, man, see, I do think Nancy having her independent arc, yes, queen, is good. Like, I think that she... But, like, I feel like she did that with a boyfriend. Like, I feel like her independent arc was with Jonathan, which, well, yes, I do think it's important for women and to, like, not be tied down by their husbands, and she doesn't want to end up like her mom. But, like, what arc is she going? What is she changing about herself by breaking up with Jonathan? Like, what plot point? What is the point for her breaking up with Jonathan? So she can... if it's because they don't work out, that's different. But, like, is it because she thinks she needs to, like, distance herself so she can work on herself? Like, I don't think that her breaking up with Jonathan is going to, like, give her some sort of arc that she didn't already have, or she's not already doing, or she can't do with Jonathan. Because, like, in season 3, she's super independent, and she just has Jonathan come along because, like, he's there for moral support or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, I just don't think that the breakup felt necessary. But I do understand, like, needing to take a break. But, like, I don't know. Isn't that, like, a spinoff season with her? So maybe they'll get back together then. I think it's, maybe the problem is Natalia Dyer, who plays Nancy, and Charlie Heaton, who plays Jonathan, are dating in real life, so maybe, like, every heartfelt scene between them just seems romantic. But, like, I feel like there was some way to make that scene feel like a goodbye, we're friends, and they just, like, didn't... Like, the writing in this volume, just, something's off. Like, they... And it's not the whole season. Like, it's just these episodes, and, like, especially in episode 7 and, like, the very beginning of episode 5, it felt like a lot of, like, sorry, it felt like a lot of, like, just throwing feelings out there and being like, this is what happened in the 3 seconds that was actually a month for you guys. Whoa, audience, take all the feelings. Because, like, it felt so, like, surface level, and the Jancy breakup just, like, felt like it was heartfelt, and it was so well acted, and it was well written, but it wasn't a well written breakup, you know. And they were also just, like, telling each other how they felt instead of, like, showing. I don't know. I do think that there's something wrong with the writing, and I don't know why. I do think there are some really, really well written scenes and some really well done scenes. I mean, everything's well acted, let's be real here. I mean, the kids, like, obviously the younger kids with Henry, they're obviously younger, and I don't think that they're, like, the greatest actors yet, but I do think they're very good for their age, being someone who comes from, like, middle school theater, and, like, I see a little bit of, like, I know that girl did, like, what's her name? Holly's best friend, I don't know her name. She's a good actor, don't get me wrong, but I can tell she's stage acting, and I don't think it's not wrong per se, but it's definitely stage acting, and you can definitely see that she is the kind of actor who is used to over accentuating expressions that can be seen from the back of a theater, and that's what stage acting is. And I think that a lot of younger kids who are brought into the film world start off as stage actors, and sometimes it takes a bit to kind of get into like actual like real like close-up camera acting. But I don't think any of the actors are bad. I think all the actors are good. I think everything is so well acted. I just think the writing is lacking some places. Okay, I'm trailing on. Let's get on to more topics. Okay, so Steve and Dustin. I love their friendship, and when I was watching the scene, I'm like, man, what is Steve doing? He's being such a douchebag, and like he's being such an asshole. And I honestly, I think it was important for Steve to tell Dustin. When Steve told Dustin that, like, you know, Eddie was being stupid, he was trying to be a hero, and I mean, he's right. There was no point, because right after, like, Eddie got himself eaten, then all the bats died. So, like, I do think that it was dumb for him to stop, but I think it was important. I think they kill off characters too easily, but that's a different rant. I think that it was important for Eddie to die for his arc. So, yeah, I think it was important for his arc to not run anymore, blah, 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 blah. But I think Steve was right, but I think he was being harsh. But I think I thought he was being a jerk this season, to be so honest. But I think there's something about his, his jerkiness, that's his internal struggle. And his internal struggle is like, he feels like he could never live up to what Eddie was for Dustin, and Dustin's so upset, and he's losing his friend over this guy that it was like competition with, you know. And I think Steve needed to kind of suck it up at some point and be like, okay, person died or not, it's still sad, and like, even though like he still means a lot to Dustin. And I think that those scenes were written well. I'm a little confused why they were like two big makeup scenes. Like, I think when they fought in the rainbow room, they could have just had that conversation there instead of like drag it on to back in the stairwell, because like, but yes, I think it was very well written. I think it was very important, and I love that their characters are back together, and I like that Dustin's coming out of his shell again. I think that's really important to all the characters. Okay, what was another thing I want to talk about? I'm going to rant so much about Byler, but I'm trying to do everything else first, because when I start Bylering, man, this video is going to be so long. I think I'm going to put, I might not want to say this, but I'm going to try and put timestamps in the description so you guys can skip around. But honestly, I'm such a circle talker, it might not be possible. So, okay, let's talk about Max and Holly before we get into Byler, because Byler, I don't want to start that yet. So Max and Holly, I love their friendship. I think I love the like having to like look for something wrong and like going through different memories. And when they found the mine shaft, like when they found Henry's traumatic memory, the traumatic memories are when Vecna first curses them. But Henry can't be cursed. So his traumatic memory, what is his traumatic memory? That must be his first memory. What is this traumatic memory that happens to him? What does he find in that case that Holly almost sees? And I think it's a part of the Mind Flayer that somehow was able to get in our world even without the bridge. And I think that is like, or something like that, not even the Mind Flayer, something that gives Henry his powers or opens Henry's powers is what he's scared of. But I think it has something to do with the Mind Flayer, because that's like where he was first cursed. And that's why Max's, like, what starts Max's memory journey is she finds where she's first cursed, you know? So I think that there's something there. But I like Holly's character. I really think she's a good character, but I also think it's like a little bit throwing me off just because we haven't seen her at all. So it just feels like a kind of like thrown in character, but I do think it's good. I also, there was this whole like, you're brave, Holly. So then she goes and she's brave, and then nothing comes of it. I just feel like the whole part where she's like falling through the bridge and then Vecna grabs her again, it feels, I don't know if it feels unnecessary because Holly has to be brave at some point, but I feel like she should have been, she should have gotten away or something, and like Vecna could have taken someone else. I don't know, because I feel like the only thing that scene proved her was when she's brave, she just gets taken again. Like, there's no point of being brave because Vecna's gonna find you again, so why be brave? You know? I just feel like there's like a weird sort of message being shown there that just, I don't know, it didn't click right for me, but maybe I'm a little crazy. Maybe I'm a little stupid silly. But yeah, something about that. And something about Max being awake. It's too perfect. I don't think anything's gonna happen. I don't think they're gonna do anything with it anymore. I don't know, I feel like they should have, while I do like that she's awake because now we get a bunch of Lumax scenes before, I just feel like this should have been like an end of the series thing, you know, like a hope open to the big world, because now she's just gonna sit there and her character's done, you know, like her character's done for the rest of the season. It feels too early for this like big twist, Max coming out of the coma scene. It just feels too early in the end, being that we still have the big long episode. What are they doing in those 2 hours? You know what I mean? Like, I feel like there has to be something more, and I feel like this leads into some Byler stuff. But yeah, let's get into the Byler stuff. Okay, so Byler, we all think it's dead. I was sobbing. I thought he was gonna confess to Mike, but if you look at Mike in that scene, he looks like he's like, you too, dude. And I'm confused why I'm confused why Robin didn't come out too, but I guess she didn't want to like steal the spotlight. I don't know. I just feel like that was like the moment for her to be like, okay, like, yeah, me too, guys. Like, hey, so, sorry, this is silly, but I actually do like girls. No. But yeah, speaking of the coming out scene, what was that, man? It wasn't horribly written. Let's say that. It wasn't really poorly written. It just wasn't, the scene itself wasn't poorly written. That was well written. Like, the actual coming out scene itself was well written. I don't like how he said, I don't like girls, because I feel like he should have just said I'm gay, but maybe it comes across more as like kiddish if he doesn't use the actual word. But I just felt like, so he's basically being tortured. Also, why aren't we seeing these scenes where Will is like getting betrayed by his family because he's gay, like that Vecna is supposedly showing him? Like, did the $400 million budget just vanish? Like, did they use it all on the Gatorade and Boppers? I don't understand, because we can see in season 4 that the writers know how to write a very well written psychological torment scene. So why do we not get these scenes? I just feel like the coming out scene came out of nowhere, and it would have been more impactful and I guess better to watch, if that makes sense. It would have been, I was actually surprised, you know? And usually, like, emotional scenes like that, you can kind of feel the buildup, but I was not expecting it, just because we didn't get it felt useless because we don't know the emotion behind it, because it feels like out of nowhere, and we don't know like what were these scenes and why weren't we shown them, and so it feels so rushed and it feels forced, and it's like Will should be able to say this on his own terms. Why is he telling Marie and Vicky and Kali and Steve, who, well, he knows Steve is chill, so Steve's fine, but like it feels so weird to me. Like, it felt something about, I was cringing. I had secondhand embarrassment, because obviously nowadays we're so much more loose about sexualities and genders and all that stuff. Like, if you would come out now, people would be like, all right, chill. Like, you know, so it obviously doesn't hit the same for me. But I just feel like the world is ending. I feel like you coming out isn't that big a deal, but I guess it was more of a big deal. But I feel like if it was such a big deal that he felt like he needed to tell his friends, he's never exchanged dialogue with Steve. Fun fact, never. So why is he telling Steve? And he's never, maybe he's exchanged, I don't even think he's exchanged dialogue with Murray or Vicky or Collie or even Hopper. No, he's definitely exchanged dialogue with Hopper. So I just don't understand why he had to tell them. Why not just, and the only people that hugged him were Dustin, Lucas, Mike, and Mike didn't even hug him. That's a Byler thing. Mike, Lucas, Dustin, Elle, Joyce, and Jonathan. So, like, I feel like he could have told those people, you know? Tell your close friends. Tell Vicky and Robin, who I already knew, obviously. But, like, it just felt, it was so, I was cringing. It was embarrassing, honestly. It was embarrassing and I was cringing. But I'm glad he did it. People are like, that's where he gained his self-acceptance. Didn't he do that in episode 4? Isn't that the entire reason he was able to harness his powers, is because he finally accepted himself? Why is there a second self-acceptance scene? I thought that arc was closed, you know? Why is this the big self-acceptance scene? I thought that was in season 4. It feels redundant almost. Like, I don't know. Now, on to Byler. There's still hope. There's still hope because the Duffer Brothers, what I've seen is they've said that there's lots of twists in the last episode. And like I was saying earlier, why is there a 2-hour long episode? Think about that. 2 hours. That's 2 episodes. That's episode 6 and 7. That's episode 6 and 7 combined. That's episode 5 and 6 combined. That's it's 2 episodes. So what, like, for a plot that seems resolved, what more is there to learn? We know what the Upside Down came from. We know who Vecna is. We know what his plan is. So what is the twist? And I know we do have a 30-minute epilogue or something. So, okay, that's an hour and a half. Take out 5 minutes for credits. It's an hour and 25 minutes. Let's say the epilogue's actually longer. There's celebrating. Okay, we have an hour and 15, an hour and 20 minutes. That's an episode and a little bit extra. What? I thought someone was coming into my room and I was going to be really embarrassed because I'm talking loud, but it was just the air conditioning or the heating. Okay, so what are they doing in this episode for seemingly a resolved plot? They have a full plan. They're going in. They're executing this plan. Like in season 3, they still have a full episode left. And in season 3, at the end of season 3, they're executing their plan, right? They have a full episode where they have a plan. And guess what happens? Many twists. Guess how many people die? 1. Oh, I thought it was... Oh, no, 2. I thought it was more. It was 2, yeah. Billy and Hopper. So I feel like there's got to be something more. There's got to be something that happens in this episode. And also, where was the promised... It was supposed to be emotional. We're not scared of killing off the main cast. I wish Jonathan and Nancy would have died. I'm gonna be honest. I kind of wish they died, or Jonathan died, or just Nancy died. I just think it would have made the stakes don't feel high anymore. The Upside Down isn't scary anymore. You can just go. They brought the entire crew of people. They brought Mr. Clark into the Upside Down. So what? The stake is Vecna, right? But why doesn't it feel, what about it makes it feel so not high stakes? It's because they're not threatening anyone's lives, really. We knew Nancy and Jonathan were going to make it out of the goop room because we've seen shots of Nancy in a military truck in trailers that haven't happened yet. So there's no high stakes, in my opinion. And it's starting to feel boring. There's got to be some twist that they have to throw into the last episode. And honestly, one thing I do think is I think that the Mind Flayer is controlling Vecna. But that's not a huge twist. Do you know what I mean? That's not the biggest twist. Oh, this whole time was a Mind Flayer. Cool. Pew pew. Gone. I mean, if the Mind Flayer is the true villain, they can't kill the Mind Flayers, kill Vecna, but then just destroy the bridge and the Mind Flayer can't get to you. So, like, like, I really don't understand fully what is this high stakes end of season finale episode. Yeah. So I do think there is hope for Byler because there's a lot of time left and we have a lot of, like, all this Byler evidence, all this is, it's not completely invalid. It still exists. And Noah Schnapp wasn't lying, I would assume, when he said that him and Finn filmed a lot together. There's no reason for him to lie to them unless it was like a whole like made up thing. Like, I just feel like it feels like there's something we're missing. It feels like there's a chunk of something that we're missing, and I think like a chunk of Byler that we're missing that's going to be in the last episode. Yeah. There's one other thing I wanted to say. And now I don't remember. Let me think. Did I say everything? I talked about Byler. It was Kali. A lot of people are suspicious of Kali, and I'm not suspicious. I've heard people say she's working with Vecna, and honestly, I'm not suspicious of her per se. I just confused. She's kind of just pissing me off. Like, she's like, kill yourself, basic to 11. And like, she's right, Like, a lot of people are like, no, Elle needs her happy ending. Elle's arc does not need a happy ending, in my opinion. I think Will's arc, who also has gone through a bunch of trauma, needs a happy ending. I think Elle's ending is going to be, she needs to do something for herself. She needs not to live happily. She's not living happily ever after for herself. She's living happily ever after for Mike and for Hopper. I think what she's going to do for herself is promise herself that no one else can be made like her. I feel like it makes more sense for her, just her arc in general, to die. Sacrificing herself, saving someone. Or Hopper and her die together or something. Because that feels solid. It feels like she's like, that would just feel right to me. I just don't think that her surviving would hit the right points, in my personal opinion. I don't think it would hit her arc the way I feel like it should be done, and I think that she should die, but something about the way Kali is acting about it is weird, because I do believe she's right, like I've been saying. I just don't, there's something off about her. I don't think she's working with Vecna, because she's still planning to blow up the bridge. Like, there would, but there's something off. I never loved Kali, but I don't love how suspicious Hopper is of the plan, because I think it's right, because all the people are just gonna, like, Mike, Hopper, they're just all gonna live on edge if they're with Elle, and that's not what she would want, and I think why haven't we seen so much of Mike's character? That's what I'm curious about. I feel like his character, we're not getting any of his POV when he's supposed to be one of the main characters of the show. Excuse me. There's got to be more. There's got to be something we're missing. There's 2 hours worth of Stranger Things content left. There's got to be some chunk of Mike, of Byler, of this whole story that we are going to unlock that's going to fill that time. Because it's not going to take them 2 hours to execute their plan. There's got to be something. And I'm fairly excited. Frankly, I'm excited to see how the Duffer Brothers do this. And if this is queerbaiting, the Duffer Brothers will never hear the end of it. And I just don't think they would do that. Because why set up a slow burn? Just for a rejection? Just for Will to get over Mike in one day? I don't know. Anyways, sorry if this was super roundabout. I hope you could understand it. I hope you actually listen, because yeah, I hope you listen to this, because I just spent 25 minutes recording it. And you can speed it up, do whatever you want. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. I really hope you guys watched, because I really want someone to talk to me about this. My parents don't want to hear about Byler, and they're tired of me talking about it. Yeah, let me know down below, and I will try and put timestamps in, but we'll see. Thank you so much for watching. If you're willing, please hit please hit that subscribe button. Let's try and hit 1K subscribers. We're at like almost 800 or something. I think we can hit 1K soon. I don't know. My half birthday's in January. Maybe we can hit it before like the middle of January. Probably not. But we'll see. So thank you guys so much for watching. I don't know what video you've been watching. Might be slime videos. That'll be cool. If it was just black, I apologize. So, okay. Bye. Thank you.